Good morning. Today is April 2nd, 2021, Friday. 2021's bullshit. That's Gregorian. So they counted about 2021 years ago, probably even 1800 years ago since Christ died. That means what happened to all the millions of years before that? There's different countings, different calendars. So we know 2021's a made up fictitious date, Gregorian, because the world's way older than 2021. Somebody's screaming in the background. Probably because they know it's not 2021. Okay, that's false one. False two, April. Is it really April? Well, it feels like spring, so I'll give them that. The moon rises, the sun sets, the sun rises, the moon sets. So, it is some kind of spring weather, some kind of spring month, but is April accurate? Well, 500 years ago, think about it this way. September is the 7th month, October 8th month, November 9th month, December 10th month. But that's not true anymore. They had to adjust that because there's 365 days and a quarter in a year or something like that. And over 500 years, the Gregorian calendar created 2 months. Those quarter days pushed out everything 2 months. Had to relabel January to be a New Year's instead of like Easter to be a New Year's. So, check this out. December today is the 12th month. It's supposed to be the 10th. November is supposed to be the 9th month, but it's the 11th month. October is supposed to be the 8th month, but it's the 10th month. And September is supposed to be the 7th month, but it's the 9th month. So that's what happens when you make fictitious dates, such as a Gregorian calendar. That's not accurate.
Was that a jack?
So we understand that it's not 2021. That's a lie. That's easy. That's an easy lie. We understand that April's off because, if November is supposed to be 9th and it's not, and December is supposed to be 10th and it's not, and October is supposed to be 8th and it's the 10th. So, see, everything's off by 2 months. So you already see it's not technically April, but it is a spring month, so not the biggest deal. Now the question is it Friday today? I mean, I assume it's Friday because it feels like a Friday, and the digestion's like weakest on like the Saturday and the Friday night, and like it shifts you to be tired on the weekend and then stronger during the week. So maybe 7 days are correct, and maybe today really is the Friday because the Bible says so, the Torah.
I'll be right
So
there.
that's probably accurate. But April's definitely off. 2021's like fake. That's completely nonsense. 2021. That is way nonsense. So April's made up month, but it is a spring month, so that's part is right. 2021 fucking like maybe it's 5,771. No, 5,781. Or maybe it's 5 million. Year 5 million or 5 billion. You know what I'm saying? Well, if you want to count from humans, or you want to count from Neanderthal, or you want to count from reptilian, or what species you want to count from, what people species you want to count from, or God, or Elohim, angels. Well, they're not angels. I mean, they are, but they're definitely a race of spiritual people, like the strongest. So, what point do you want to count from? Okay. So now we got that out of the way. We don't really know what year it is. Do you know who your great-great-great-grandparents are? No, you probably don't. Maybe you know great-grandparents. Great-great, probably you don't know. Great-great-great, you definitely don't know. So what does that say about us? So I don't give a fuck. We don't give a fuck about the great-greats. That means that we don't really know where we came from. You ever think of that? You don't know your great-great. You don't even know your great. But if you don't know your great-great and great-great-great, you really don't even know where the fuck it came from. I don't know my great-great-great. I have pictures of them, but I didn't really care enough, which is a problem. Because it means I don't really know where I came from. That means when we ask, why are we here? We don't really know who our great-great-great-grandparents are. That should really be the first question. Where do we come from? Before we say, why are we here? We should say, where do we come from? Who's the line? Does it lead to monkeys? Does it lead to Adam and Eve? Does it lead to King David? Does it lead to Benjamin Franklin? Where does that line lead of our history? We have to know that. And we have to understand who our great-greats are. before we even ask why we're here. Because it's a stupid question if you don't even know your own fucking family history. And then you're like, why are we here? Yeah, because you don't know your fucking family history. So that's probably why you forgot why you're here. So think about that. Money, that's another bullshit. It's paper. They used to be represented by gold. At least when it was backed by gold, you knew it was worth something. Today, it's just the government's word. People's word doesn't really mean anything. You know? It's a problem. Money has to be backed up by something. It's a problem that's not. And then they're just printing money for coronavirus, like unlimited. So that's another problem. It could lead us to some kind of war, which they're probably planning this entire time. The coronavirus is the facade, although people die. But yes, it's the facade. It was man-made bioterrorism. But in the background, they're planning for World War III, which is probably accurate. So now what? What do we do? I should probably shave this beard. Probably like do a shave from here. Go around there. Maybe do like a little bit of this. Make this beard like a little nicer. So thick to shave. But it looks good now. So I think do like one of these situations. Like a trimtation. Okay. Now. So if money's fake, the date is fake, the year is fake, so many things are fake, what is real? Well, one, we really should find out who our greats are. We should really have a real well understanding establishment of how we got here, how we were created. Then we should start asking why we're here. But first we should know where we came from. That's the intelligence. Because like, what if you find out you're an extraterrestrial? Chances are you could be. Now, why am I doing this podcast? I'm doing this podcast because we need to do things in life. We can't just sit around in bed all day and get depressed. We need to get out there in the 28 degrees, which was 70 last week. Oh, yes, they do spray weather. Global warming. Global warming is partially true. Like, ice melts and shit. You know, the weather does get warmer and shit. But, like, those crazy days where it's like 90 and then 20 and shit like that, that's because they spray, like, magnesium or some shit in the air. Which is true. It's not chemtrails or contrails. But they do... Like, you can ask farmers, it's a known thing that we spray magnesium, different types of metals, and different type of powder shits in the air, and that makes it rain. So they do this in different states, and that makes the weather drastically different. And then they do have a HARP machine, which can really change and fuck up the weather. So we do live in a petri dish where they can make forest fires, they can make September 11th, they can laser shit down, you know, spread fires across rivers and lakes and highways, which is like not physically possible. They can melt buildings to disintegration with these lasers. They can change the weather with these weather machines. They can create viruses. See, here they are. Here they're spraying. They can create viruses in a lab. So we live in a petri dish. We live in an experiment in a zoo. Okay? So working and television pretty much keeps you stupid, but you do need the money to do things. So you do need to work. Also, you need to keep yourself sane. And then you need some TV to relax. So pretty much we should do some form of like coalition of the truth. And we should not let the Illuminati or Freemason, whoever's involved, or the parties that are trying to be involved, or extraterrestrial parties involved, or whatever is involved, we should change shit up. We should not be told how to live, and we should not be lied about the year. You know, too many lies. So we really have to understand that we're trapped in this earth, and like Mars already has been established for at least 20 years. The government's there with all their, you know, NASA and the army. There's a space army for 20 years at least that's already on Mars. Moon, they didn't want to go. Too many extraterrestrials there. Too much history there. So that's that story. Yeah, so like, and that's nothing. There's like planets everywhere. You can go to any planet. I mean, it's like Men in Black. Like, there's spaceships taking people to planets. Like, there's extraterrestrials here. There's terrestrials here from different planets. They have visas and shit from the government of, like, the United Nations. So like all this shit's happening under our noses, and like all crazy shit, portals and shit. All this shit exists, but no, of course not. It's 2021, so that's the first lie. So just start with 2021. You know, start with you don't know who your great 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 grandparents are. Start with things of that, and then you're gonna see lies upon lies, and you're gonna see that everything's bullshit. So you gotta just start somewhere, and then you'll learn more about what's truth and what's not. And then we gotta make some kind of coalition to change this shit. You know, we got to change the truth that we can. Well, if you want to connect with other people, they're already connecting with us, so we might as well connect with these other Homo sapien. Well, they're not Homo sapien, but we're Homo sapien. They're different races. They've been around forever. You know, we should start doing more stuff and taking control instead of being controlled. So that's the thought of today. It's 2021. You know, it's not 2021. You know, April's already 2 months off. You know, your great, 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 great grandparents, you don't know who they are. There's a lot of things we don't know. We're like, basically, you have ants. Okay, the first generation of the ant farm, right? They know they're trapped. They had a free life, and they put in this ant farm. They know they're trapped. First generation of humans, same way did it. We know that we're trapped. Second generation of ants, they're like, well, we heard we're trapped. You know, same thing with humans. Now, third generation of ants or humans in that ant farm, that's it. They think that's life, and that's us. We're already 4 or 5 million generations in. We think this is the world. We're so, like, docile, domesticated. That, you know, read that book, whatever, The Four Agreements. You know, he talks a little bit about this stuff. But we're so, like, fucking domesticated in that ant farm that we think this is the world when we don't know there's millions of planets out there, millions of billions of people species different than us. Like, we're from mammals. There's, like, the Yeti, the Bigfoot. They're other people species. They're not like some stupid creature. Reptilians, you know, they definitely came first before mammal people species. So there's reptilian people species, there's fish people species, every kind of animal type, insect probably also has a species of people. Everything evolved in some kind of people or was created in some kind of people millions, gazillions of years ago. We're special because of our DNA, and that, like, basically all of space, all these horoscopes and zodiacs and what's that other word? All these astrologies. If you look at the stars are ones, the black is zeros. So it's like 101010, like a computer system, the entire space. All that information is shrunk down into our DNA. So Homo sapiens species has been created by the Elohim race, which is a spiritual race with the top. We call them angels. But these guys created us from like apes or Neanderthals or some such. I'll get into that next time. But the point is that we're holding all this DNA, and this DNA is holding all the Torah, all the Bible, all the space history, the universe history, the multiverse history, time history. We can get into block time. We can get into all that. A mosaic time, real time. But what I'm trying to say is that we're special. This Akashic record, we're special because Homo sapien holds the history, and other types of people species are not made to hold the history. And that's another reason why we're trapped on this earth here as part of an experiment, and we're fucking computers. Each one of us are a living computer. So let's make this coalition. Let's get more educated. Let's start leaving Earth and shit, you know, going other places. Let's start, like, making our own money. Let everybody be rich. You know, money's BS anyhow. And let's all have a better life. And, you know, first things do is start breaking down that it's not 2021. Start breaking down money. It's not, you know, it's just paper. Start breaking down. It's not really April. Start breaking things down that people just accept, wake up, go to work, and not think. So start doing that, and then you'll see everything fucking crumbles before you, and it's all bullshit. And then it's like, okay, let's make this coalition and change the world, and let's be our own Illuminati. Let's be our own power, and let the people choose what we want instead of being told by some hidden. See, the devil's greatest trick is convincing the world he doesn't exist. So we're like, okay, we know he exists, we know these powers exist, and we're going to say we're making our own power. we're gonna stop them, or we're just gonna make our own thing and fuck them. We don't need them because we'll just do our own thing.